Hello and welcome to Simplicity in Stocks. In these videos, we dive into the important foundations of investing. This video will consider the potentially 5 best sectors to pick stocks from for 2025. First things first, the Indian economy is growing rapidly. Trade is booming, consumers are spending, companies have cut debt, started hiring, and are expanding capacities. They are exploring new opportunities. All this is good news for the stock market. Long-term investors especially are bullish. So how can you identify which companies and industries will do well in 2025? After all, no one has seen the future. This brings up the obvious question of selecting the right investments, specifically the right sectors. If you get your sectoral allocation right, the stock picking becomes much easier. Now do keep in mind that this video is for information purposes only. It's not a stock recommendation and should not be treated as such. There's no opinion or view on any stock covered herein. With that said, here are the top 5 sectors. 1. Software. The Indian software sector has done very well this year and is expected to continue to make good progress in 2025 as well. It's not just the large IT companies that are doing well. Everyone can see the growth in India's tech startup space too. When looking for the best IT stocks in India, don't limit yourself to the large cap IT stocks that dominate the sector. India's tech sector 10 years from now will look very different. The big IT services firms will likely still be around, of course, but they will face huge competition from a growing number of newer companies. We have already seen this play out. Many mid and small sized software companies are giving the big boys a run for their money. This trend will continue in 2025 as well. With its eyes set on the future, India's tech sector is leveling up. India's IT industry is likely to hit around $350 billion by 2026 and contribute about 10% to India's GDP. It's on track to double its revenue to $500 billion by 2030. Thus, IT stocks in 2025 are a good choice for your watch list. 2. Pharma. India is a global pharma powerhouse. Indian pharma firms cater to 60% of the world's demand for vaccines, 40% of the generic demand in the US, and 25% of medicines in the UK. India's cost competitiveness has given the sector an advantage. But it's not just the international opportunity. Domestic demand for medicines and treatment is soaring. As the nation gets older, the healthcare needs of the population goes up. The older we become, the more we depend on the pharma industry. Just look at the gigantic size of the healthcare sector in the developed world. That will tell you all you need to know about the wealth creation potential of these companies. The government's boost to the sector, growing population, increasing awareness of health, and an aging population across the globe are also the driving factors that could take India's pharma industry to a value of 130 billion by 2030, from around 40 billion in 2021. In this high-growth industry, several Indian players have made their mark in the world. With their innovation and resilience, these companies have achieved remarkable success. COVID-19 may have brought these firms into the spotlight, but they have a very bright long-term future as well. It's just a matter of finding the right stock and holding on to it. 2024 has been very good for investors in pharma stocks. 2025 could see the good times continue. 3. Real estate. India is getting wealthier at an ever-increasing rate. People are demanding premium, comfortable living spaces. Not to mention second homes and vacation homes. One only needs to look at China's massive real estate boom to understand the long-term potential of real estate in India. Real estate companies that pivot from low-income housing to premium housing will do very well. Another niche segment that will do well is senior housing. A massive boom in real estate in India is currently underway, and it's not going to end anytime soon. 2025 is looking like a good year to be invested in real estate stocks. But choosing the right real estate stock to ride this wave is not as straightforward as it seems. Seek out companies with strong balance sheets, low debt, and a long and clean history of good intentions towards their shareholders. 4. Retail. India's retail sector has grown exponentially in the past few years. This parabolic growth is not just visible in major cities and metros, but also in smaller Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. The robust growth in demand is due to the relentless rise in consumer spending. This spending has been triggered by rising incomes due to healthy economic growth, higher spending by younger consumers, and the growing pace of urbanization. These trends are likely to continue at a strong pace going forward. India's younger population, which is also getting richer, has already begun spending big on discretionary products and services. These are consumer brands like fashion, electronics, and accessories, especially those in the high end segments. These will continue to dominate the real estate sector in India. You will probably not go wrong with this theme. These stocks have done very well over the years. However, they are trading at expensive valuations. Thus, there is an element of risk involved in retail stocks. But as long as the retail spending growth continues in 2025, the market's sentiment towards these stocks is likely to remain strong. 5. Travel and tourism. This will be a huge growth industry in India's future. Indians have already begun spending big money on luxury vacations. India is a large market for travel and tourism. The country offers a diverse portfolio of niche tourism products, which are cruises, adventures, medical, wellness, sports, ecotourism, film, rural, and religious tourism. India's rising middle class, increased route capacity, and a growing appetite for travel has propelled the sector to new heights. This sector is one of the largest in India, with a total contribution of around rupees 16.6 trillion to India's GDP. As per industry estimates, despite increased airfares and hotel rates, Indians are willing to increase their spending on holidays by at least 20 to 30%. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC, over the next decade, India's travel and tourism sector is expected to grow at an average of 7.1% annually. Stocks in this sector have done well in recent years. However, there is nothing to suggest that the momentum could end anytime soon. After all, Indians are willing to spend big on their travel experiences. So these stocks should certainly be on your 2025 watch list. Well, this was our list of the top 5 sectors that we think can do well in 2025. However, buying individual stocks will require due diligence on the part of investors. Ensure that the stocks that you are considering have solid fundamentals and are not trading at expensive valuations. Thank you for watching.